You better watch out, you better not cry, you better not pout, I am telling you why. Santa Claus is coming to town. He's making a list, he's checking it twice. He's gonna find out who's naughty or nice. Santa Claus is coming to town. He sees you when you're sleeping, and he knows when you're awake. He knows if you've been bad or good, so be good for goodness sake. You better watch out, you better not cry, you better not pout, I am telling you why. 'Cause Santa Claus is coming to town. Oh, let's go!
For as long as anyone could remember, John Tremaine had been bringing Christmas joy to youngsters on Canvey by visiting their homes dressed as Santa Claus every December. As the years rolled by, John raised thousands of pounds to help good causes on Canvey Island. He took his Santa role very seriously, building a Christmas grotto outside his shop, which allowed all the excited boys and girls the chance to spend time looking through the vast selection of toys on offer. His search for the perfect Santa outfit took him all the way to America and a little shop called Small Santa's, where he bought the large boy-size suit which still fits him today. Many a night in December, poor Pat would be woken in the early hours by a ho 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 and John hanging precariously onto the windowsill. Before I carry on with the rest of the story, some of John's friends would like to say a few words about him.
Take 23.
Hello.
Take 34.
Hello.
Take 62.
Hello.
Take 94.
Hello. Our President, John Tremaine. We all say how well he does. In fact, it's tremendous. Since the 1st of December, he's been out on a sleigh every night, every day. Trawling the streets, collecting money. And what you've got to realise is, I'm in the car, I'm nice and warm, and people are walking, and they're keeping warm by walking. But John, Santa, he sits on that sleigh every night, soaking wet, cold, and he has been bitter this year, and every night he does it. And at weekends he's been outside the supermarkets. We've done the schools, we've been to the schools, visited them when they broke up and given out the presents. We've been to children's parties at the football clubs and rugby clubs. You know, this man put so much effort into this. Absolutely fantastic.
Well, not many people know this, but Pat's been getting very worried about John lately. He's been working so hard on Rotary and getting all stressed that she took him to see Dr. Tay. and Dr. Tay examined him, give him a thorough examination, blood pressure, blood tests, all the works, and after conducting all these tests, he looked at John and Pat and he said, "Pat, I need to talk to you alone. John, you go outside of the room for a minute and I'll just have a word with Pat." So John went out of the room and Dr. Tay said to Pat, "I've got some really bad news for you, Pat. Poor old John's been working so hard. He's been doing his Santa bit. He's been doing the run, all his usual fundraising stuff, as well as being the Rotary president. And he's been working so hard, I'm afraid he's got Rotary disease." And Pat said, "Well, what's Rotary disease, Tay?" And he said, "It's very bad." He said, "In fact, it can be fatal." "Oh dear, really? Is there any cure?" And Tay said, "Well, there's no scientific cure, but his chances of survival are purely down to you. From now on, you've got to make his life totally stress-free. When he wakes up in the morning, you've got to be there with his breakfast in bed for him. You must do all the cooking and cleaning, all the housework, and not involve him in any of that. And then when he comes home at night, you've got to have his dinner ready on the table for him, his favourite dinner every night. You've got to make his life really stress-free. And then most important of all, every night you've got to make love to him. And then let him fall asleep quietly and serenely and have a good night's sleep. And then it all starts the following day. And if you can do all these things for him, Pat, he may just survive." Oh dear. And so she went out the room and John said to Pat, "Well, Pat, what did he say? What did Tay say?" And she looked at him with a tear in her eye and she said, "You're going to die."
Hello, John. Hope you're having a really good evening. I was thinking that if Paul Harris were to invent Rotary now, and he wrote a book, a manual on how Rotarians should be, and what the ideal Rotarian should be like, he would put you on the front cover. And I want to say to you that we admire your leadership in Rotary, your passion for this community, your astonishing ability to work hard, and your ability to get the rest of us motivated and trying to be decent Rotarians. You belong to this island. You're a son of this island. Your parents must be so proud. Thank you for who you are and what you do for the rest of us. Have a good night.
And so back to the story. It wasn't long before word spread around the island that Canvey Rotary Club had a fantastic Father Christmas, and John's fame grew and grew. Mums would rush out in their nightmare for a kiss from a grateful Santa. Dads would ply him with drink. Cars that were being forced to drive behind the sleigh at 10 miles an hour along Furtherwick Road after a hard day's work would beat their horns in celebration, and Santa's helpers would happily and mostly without complaint, Steve Blackwell, walk 3 miles a night while John sat comfortably on his sleigh enjoying the view. With all this good cheer, surely John must have been the happiest Santa in town. But no, something was missing, and Santa was sad. You see, Santa was sad. Because there was something missing from his sleigh. What could it be? John's Rotarian friends had fitted enough lights to be seen from space. John's Rotarian friends had fitted enough lights to be seen from space. Mike Meechin had dusted off his Christmas 1972 LP to provide the music. And Bill Dudbridge was ordered not only to buy a red-coloured vehicle to pull him around with, but also to wear a reindeer hat, thus allowing his lordship on the back to bark out orders for Rudolph to stop here and there and turn at every whim. As an aside, After so many years of being ordered around, it does explain why Bill, aka Rodolph, regularly puts his foot down on the long road, increasing the wind chill factor on the sleigh to -15 and forcing the great man himself to hold on to his hat, beard and safety rail for dear life. Revenge is sweet. So what was missing? Rotarians were very worried about John. If he didn't carry on with the sleigh, they would have to find somebody else to take over the job. And let's be honest, the chances of finding another 4 foot 11-inch tall member who would fit into the Santa suit was always going to be problematic. Just as Club Council were preparing a membership campaign to attract one of the little fellows from the circus at Sadler's Farm, the problem was solved. And for John, it was love at first sight. John was at his lowest point when he agreed to be dragged around the garden centre by Pat. But while she looked at the winter hanging basket section, John was drawn by a powerful force to a dimly lit corner of the shop where he found her. His new little reindeer. In fairness, she wasn't that hard to find. After all, she'd been displayed in the same place in the garden centre every Christmas for the last 7 years, waiting for someone to buy her. 3.5 minutes later, John, Pat and their new addition were heading for home. The eagerness of the garden centre manager to open a special till for them, gift wrap and hand deliver to the reindeer to the car was just a fortunate coincidence, I am sure. So that brings me to the end of the story. John has a new best friend. Canvey Rotary do not need to look for a replacement. Short, Santa. Pat gets to watch the television in peace during December, and the Santa sleigh continues to raise thousands of pounds for local causes. I will finish by saying Happy Christmas to you all and leave the final words to these honoured guests.
He loves his little reindeer. He loves his little reindeer. He loves his little reindeer. He loves his little reindeer.
And finally, don't forget, John Tremaine loves his little reindeer, and we love you too, John.
John Tremaine loves his little reindeer.
So to finish, I'd just like to say thank you, John. Thank you, Pat. And John loves his little reindeer.
You better watch out, you better not cry, you better not pout, I am telling you why. Santa Claus is coming to town. Making a